Good morning. Today is October 17th, 2021, and our spiritual practice that we are studying today is forgiveness. The talk is entitled Forgiveness as a Spiritual Practice. We've looked over the last weeks over those foundational spiritual practices like meditation and relaxation, affirmation, contemplation, visualization, gratitude. And we are looking at adding forgiveness to our spiritual tool chest. We open with a word of affirmative prayer, spiritual mind treatment. So I invite you to close your eyes now, to take a deep breath, and with me to know the truth, that in the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I know that there is only one power, one presence, one infinite intelligence that creates, sustains, and nurtures all of life. I know that there is one non-duality, one reality, one truth. I know that all separation, all strife, all discord arise from mistakes in consciousness, from belief in duality, and actions that arise as a result. I now choose to release from my consciousness all that is unlike perfect peace within and perfect harmony in my relationships with the outer world. I choose to live totally in the now and am therefore made free from all negativity. I release all sadness. I release all fear. I release all guilt. I release all blame. I release all anger. I release all resentment. I am totally willing to learn how to forgive and what it means for me at this stage in my journey. I choose to see good in all of life, and I choose to meditate continually upon the fact that I am a beloved child of the universe. I know that I am here because the universe wanted me here. I know there is something I am to do that no other can do, that there is a place I am to fill that no one else can fill. And I know that I am always in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing for my greatest good and highest joy. I embrace myself and am embraced. I release with gratitude and allow it to be, and so it is. In her audiobook entitled 101 Power Thoughts for Life, Louise Hay reminds us that forgiveness of myself and others releases me from the past. Forgiveness is the answer to almost everything. When I forgive, I set myself free. When you and I find ourselves stuck, when what we're doing, what we're working on in consciousness is not coming to us, when the same situations continue to present themselves, and when we find ourselves rueing or regretting the past, it usually means that we have an opportunity to forgive. Often, even raising this idea that we might have some forgiveness work to do brings up an awful lot of difficult emotions. And this is because culturally, we have been raised in an environment where things like responsibility and forgiveness are inextricably tied with blame and criticism, with judgment and punishment. It can be very difficult and scary to contemplate forgiveness when we have been conditioned to believe that forgiveness means letting someone off the hook. Sometimes the person we believe needs to be punished or face the music is someone else. Others, it is we ourselves who we believe deep down needs to be punished. And sometimes it is both. But the truth is that no amount of grudge holding or hating someone, no amount of unforgivingness is going to free us from the vestiges of the past. Indeed, it keeps us locked into beliefs that keep us stuck. We believe that the past has power over us, that because someone did something to us or did not do something for us, that our present and our future are forever stunted or stilted. We believe because we ourselves did something or failed to do something, that things are destined to be limited. But this demonstrates a belief in lack and limitation. We believe that opportunities only come to some people, or that there aren't enough opportunities now, or that we have somehow done something not to be worthy of opportunity and of freedom. But we profess to know, in this way of thinking, that there is one infinite intelligence that has created all that is, and all that exists, as everything that we see and everything that we don't see. If this intelligence is the truth of who and what you are, the very fiber of your being, how can you say that this intelligence is limited? If you yourself are a living expression of infinite intelligence and creative spirit, your unwillingness to believe that you are capable of change and growth and wonderful things runs counter to your belief that there is truly an infinite intelligence. You see, it cannot be that infinite intelligence knew what it was doing when it created everything else, but when it came to me, it really made a mistake. Refusing to give up this belief is really telling infinite intelligence, you don't know what you're doing. Can you imagine seeing the face of God and saying, yeah, you sure messed up when you created me? But by continuing to harbor beliefs like this, that is in effect what we are saying. And in continuing to live in the past, riddled with regret, fettered with resentment and anger and fear, we are doing much the same. You see, God is right here in the here and now, waiting in quiet repose and waiting to engage with you to lift you higher. You and I are the ones who need to choose to come into the present and to believe it possible. While Ernest Holmes does not address forgiveness so much using the word forgiveness, if we look up the etymological history of forgive, we see that it means to give up, to let go. It means, in essence, to give up or relinquish the desire or power to punish. If we understand forgiveness in this way, we understand that unforgivingness is what Ernest Holmes refers to as morbidity of thinking. It is a belief in lack, in limitation, and he talks about this often in The Science of Mind. Here is how he says we should solve morbidity of thinking. Claim that no form of race suggestion, and here he means human race suggestion or species suggestion if you like. Claim that no form of race suggestion, belief in limitation, subjective idea of limitation, thought of karma, fatalism, theology or hell, horoscope, or any other false belief has power. Accept none of them. If you have ever believed in them, if you have ever believed that the stars govern you, or that your environment governs you, or that your opportunities govern you, recognize that this is a hypnotic condition into which you've fallen, and deny every one of them until there is no longer anything in you that believes in them. This is a good way to clear your consciousness. We can readily see what it does. It induces a clear concept of reality, which must reproduce itself. This process of clear thinking, if carried out every day, will heal. When you are giving a treatment, you are thinking. You are meeting, opposing, neutralizing, erasing, and obliterating suppression, fear, doubt, failure, morbid emotion, and sense of loss, whatever the trouble may be. Every time your thought hits fairly and squarely, it erases just as definitely as one would erase a chalk line. Such is the mystery of appearance and the disappearance of thought. Right thought, constantly poured into consciousness, will eventually purify it. Discord might be likened to a bottle of impure water. Healing might be likened to the process of dropping pure water into the bottle a drop at a time until the whole is clean and pure. So we need to practice forgiveness over and over until we have eventually purified our consciousness. How can we do this? Well, there are a few different ways to do this. Sometimes you'll see them arranged in discrete steps, but I don't think you can really say first you do this and then you do this. Rather, I think we start with what feels most pertinent and powerful at the time, but we work through all of them. First, we need to identify the things we feel need forgiveness. This is tied often to what we feel are negative emotions. fear, sadness, guilt, resentment, hurt, blame, shame, and so on. What event in the past brings these about for you? Whom do you see in your mind's eye when you ask yourself, who has wronged me? Write these down. Understand the emotions connected to them. Discover your anger, your sadness, your hurt, your feelings of blame or guilt, shame, and so on. Understand the thoughts and the beliefs that make these feelings necessary. And then make a list of why you shouldn't or cannot forgive this person. And then ask yourself whether you're willing to forgive them anyway. You see, forgiveness has nothing to do with condoning what happened, what they did. Rather, it has to do with accepting that this is what happened at the time and that you yourself were doing the best you could with the understanding, knowledge, and awareness that you had in light of what happened. Be willing to ask yourself what it would mean to let go of what happened, to forgive the past, to accept the events having happened, and even to forgive that person. Because the truth is that through unforgivingness, we believe we hold that person in bondage, when in fact, our unforgivingness often causes us to feel unable to move forward freely. No amount of resenting another or blaming ourselves for what happened or our inability to move on skillfully and live a happy and fulfilling life afterward is going to change what happened or how we managed to move past it. We did the best we could, and we still are. The very fact that you're considering forgiveness means that you have the power within you to adopt a new perspective, to support yourself in accepting what happened and loving yourself enough to move into the present, even if it's scary or uncertain, and to nurture yourself, to invest in yourself with your time and energies, and to choose to grow in your life the things you would like to have and to be and to do. Forgiveness work often requires a lot of writing or quiet contemplation. We don't always get to go back and talk to the person whom we need most to forgive, but having a journal in which to write out our thoughts and to work through difficult emotions can be a useful outlet. When we've worked through the emotions and allowed ourselves to feel the feelings, we often find that whether or not we're able to forgive the person to their face, or their reaction to our words afterward, are of little consequence. No, this is a conversation within ourselves. It is ourself and ourself who really needs to get on the same page. We also find that whatever resentment or unforgivingness we are harboring toward another is often mirrored with feelings of guilt or shame or resentment toward ourselves, for not doing better, for allowing it to happen, and so on. This is the real healing work that needs to occur, forgiving ourselves for not knowing better, for not doing better, for not being perfect. True perfection is being able to do our best to show up as our authentic self in the here and now, and accepting who and what we are right now as perfect, whole, and complete. To understand that we were doing the best we knew how to do at every moment in the past, and choosing to love and accept who we are now, and understanding with gratitude that we were able to do what we managed to do at the time, and that is what got us here to where we are today. What an amazing feat. What an amazing thing we have done. Forgiveness is not linear. Forgiveness is not logical. Forgiveness is magical and alchemical. Forgiveness is the doorway to love and acceptance. It is a practice that is hard, one that is not valued in current society, and one that is sometimes seen as weak or even misguided. But again, we are not affixing blame either to the person doing the healing work or even to the person we believe needs forgiving. Rather, this is a conversation between us and us. It is choosing to accept what has gone before, and more than anything, accepting who we were at that time, and also who we are now. Forgiveness is an act of self-love and compassion. It is understanding that we love ourselves enough that we don't want to hold on any longer to the resentment, to the pain, to the hurt, to the anger, to the negativity. Ernest Holmes reminds us that healing is like dropping water into a murky bottle of water, drop by drop. Forgiveness is the pure water we are dropping into the murky water, drop by drop. We are forgiving ourselves or mistakes in consciousness. We are forgiving others for the wrongs they've done to us, and understanding that they too were operating from mistaken consciousness. And it is understanding that life is infinite, that opportunity is limitless, that we have not lost anything in truth. It is coming into the present and recognizing that the power we have is greatest here and now. that we can choose to release ourselves from the past over and over again. And that truth is that life loves you, and so it is.